Okay. So, again, good evening. Sino po ang nakakaalam sa topic natin tonight? Familiar po ba ang lahat sa topic natin tonight? Kaya namin napili ito dahil nagkaroon po tayo ng World Hemophilia Day noong April 17, no? Sa lahat ng mga nandito tonight, ano pong pagkaunawa niyo? Ano po sa pagkaintindi niyo yung hemophilia? Ano po ba ang hemophilia?
Blood
No idea,
disorder.
Doc.
Okay. Anyone can join, can participate? Okay, what do you mean by hemophilia? From the word hemo, okay, it means
Blood.
blood. Okay, blood. So, pag sinabing hemophilia, this is a blood disorder. So, mabuti na lang, no, naging topic, naalala ni Ma'am. Actually, si Ma'am Ella ang nag-suggest this. And thank you, Ma'am, sa pag-suggest dahil minsan, nauubusan na din po ako ng topic. Okay, excuse mo na. So, ang pag-uusapan natin is more about on blood disorders. So, yung hemophilia muna ang unahin natin. Okay, so what do you mean by hemophilia? So, it means it is a hereditary disease that leads to a blood clotting disorder. In the two most well-known forms of hemophilia, we have A and B. The blood lacks, ito yun, lack one of the proteins required for blood coagulation or the coagulation factors. So what do you mean by coagulation? Yung pamumuo ng dugo. Okay? Yun yung ibig sabihin nun. Yung pamumuo ng dugo. Halimbawa kasi pag during nakat, o pag nakat tayo, nagkaroon tayo ng sugat, sa totoo lang, kahit hindi mo yan ididiin, pabayaan mo lang siya. Yung mga minor cuts lang. Pero yung mga ah, cuts yung mga stub wounds, iba po ang usapan nun. Pero yung minor cuts lang, okay? Kahit hayaan mo lang siyang tumulo ng tumulo. Huwag ka matakot. Yung iba dinidiin pa, yung iba tinatalian. Hayaan mo siyang tumulo ng tumulo. Okay? Meron siyang tamang time, no? Magka-clot siya stop. Okay? By stimulating the fibrinogen. Okay? At saka yung fibrin. Okay? From the plasma. Plasma, it is part of our blood to initiate blood coagulations. So what do you mean? Pag yung fibrin at fibrinogen, okay? Pag nakita nila, oops, may cut, may blood, may bleeding, automatic yung plasma natin magre-release or magre-release siya ng certain proteins which is the fibrinogen to perform the fibrin. Pag sinabing fibrin, siya yung magkuklose, magsisealed para mag-stop yung bleeding. And then, makikita nyo po, after ng mag-stop na yung bleeding, makikita nyo may lalabas na parang yellowish. Yung yellowish na color, that is what we call the fibrin from the plasma. That is the plasma. Sinisealed nila yung wound para mag-stop na yung bleeding. So, yan yung ibig sabihin ng coagulation factors. Isisealed nila yung nakat na blood vessels to stop the bleeding. But in hemophilia, there is a disorder, no? Pag sinabing disorder, merong lacking proteins. It lacks one proteins required for blood coagulations. So, pag sinabing wala siyang a certain kind of proteins, tuloy-tuloy po, pag nakatag isang tao, tuloy-tuloy ang pagdurugo. Okay? So, we have the very common, the hemophilia A and the hemophilia B. Okay. The hemophilia A, lack of coagulation factor. Ito yung tinatawag na coagulation factor 8. Okay. Si A, wala. Deficiency of coagulation factor number 8. Okay. Approximately 1 in 5,000 men are affected. So, very rare. Ang hemophilia B naman, deficiency of coagulation factor number 9. So magkaiba 8 and 9. Ang A8, it is a protein, no? It is a protein that initiates para i-seal ang wound. Okay, yung nakat na mga blood vessels. Alright. Ang hemophilia B, yan yung a deficiency of coagulation factor number 9. So, approximately 1 in 25,000 to 30,000 men are affected. Have you noticed? More on men. Okay? Halos puro men. A and B. So, more on men. So, what do you mean by hemophilia? It is a common hereditary coagulation blood disorder. Pag sinabing common hereditary, can pass on from parents, no? Blood disorder due to deficiency or reduced activity of clotting factor 8 or clotting factor 9. This disorder is X-linked recessive disorder. Okay. Hemophilia is a bleeding disorder that slows down the blood clotting process. It is transmitted via females to men who are sufferers. So, men ang sufferers. Female who carry a single mutated gene are generally asymptomatic and not affected. People who have hemophilia often have longer bleeding after some sort of contact to injury. People who have severe hemophilia start to have spontaneous bleeding in the joints and muscles all around their bodies. Hemophilia is more common in males than in females. So again, this is a hereditary coagulation blood disorder. Ang pinag-usapan natin dito ay yung pagpamumuo ng dugo, yung paano ma-seal. Okay? So, these are the clotting factors. So those are very very crucial po ito. Ito yung mga tinatawag na proteins. Okay? Kailangan to ng ating especially during meron tayong cuts or mga wounds, no? So, ito yung tinatawag na factor 1. Ito yung coagulation factor 1 fibrinogen. Pag sinabing fibrinogen, this one stimulates to seal, no? Yung cut blood vessels para ma-stop yung bleeding. Factor 2, prothrombin. Okay? Pag sinabing prothrombin, ibig sabihin, siya po yung gaano kabilis o gaano kabagal yung pamumuo ng dugo. Factor 3, tissue factor. Factor 4, calcium. Factor 5, proacelerin, labile factor. Factor 6, old name of factor VA. So, ang titingnan muna natin dito, diretso na tayo, factor 8 and factor 9. Dahil yan po yung hemophilia, deficiency of hemophilia A, deficiency of coagulation factor number 8. Okay, ito yun. Anti-hemophilic factor A. And then factor 9, anti-hemophilic factor B. So these are the proteins. Okay, these are proteins that helps to stimulate the blood coagulations. So, coagulation factors are proteins in your blood. They help from blood clots to stop bleeding when you have an injury. These proteins are also called clotting factors. You have several different types of clotting factors that are all important for making blood clots. So, napaka-importante ng mga clotting factors na sinasabi ko. Kapag merong isa dyan, nagkaroon ng problema, nagkaroon ng deficiency, so nagkakaroon, it can result to blood disorders, no? Especially hemophilia. But again, do not forget hemophilia is a hereditary. So ito tayo, sa history muna tayo ng hemophilia. Best known of the hereditary bleeding disorder since 2nd century, no? Ito yung si Queen Victoria I. Siya yung pinaka famous and well-known na meron siyang hemophilia. Tradition and Laws manuscript, first coined by, ito yun, originally term hemorrhagilia. Dito nag-uumpisa yung pangalan na hemophilia. love for hemorrhages, but over time contracted to hemophilia. Hemophilia is often called the disease of kings. Pambihira. Disease of kings because was carried by many members of Europe's royal families. Queen Victoria I of England was a carrier of hemophilia. By the way, nabanggit na dito that hemophilia are royal families, blood disorders. No? Sa kanila nanggagaling. Sila po yung well-known. Okay? Especially si Queen Victoria. Sa kanya po, nakatutok yung studies about the hemophilia. Inheritance of hemophilia. Hemophilia A and hemophilia B are inherited in an X-linked recessive pattern. The genes associated with these conditions are located in the X chromosomes. Ano nga yung X chromosomes? Which is one of the two sex hormones, no? Chromosomes. In males who have only one X chromosomes, one changed copy of the gene in its cell is sufficient to cause the condition. In females who have two X chromosomes, kasi ang babae XX, ang lalaki XY. Okay? Tandaan natin, sa chromosomes, dito po na-distinguish yung sex organ ng isang baby. Okay? Tandaan natin, maraming hindi nakakaalam na yung paano na-develop, paano ma-distinguish yung gender ng isang bata. By the way, ang nagbibigay po ng gender ng isang baby ay from the male chromosomes. Okay? Yung lalaki po ang nagbibigay ng gender. So, I think this is another topic, pero bigyan ko lang kayo ng idea. Ang nagbibigay po ng gender ng isang baby is from the male chromosomes. Okay? Right. Because it is unlikely that females will have two changed copies of this gene. It is very rare for females to have hemophilia. A characteristic of X-linked inheritance is that fathers cannot pass X-linked traits to their sons. Okay. The X-linked recessive inheritance, hindi nyo man ito maintindihan ngayon, mamaya sa picture maintindihan nyo. A female with one changed copy of this gene in its cell is called a carrier. Yung pinag-usapan ko, X and Y, these are all chromosomes located in our DNA. Okay, nasa DNA po natin. Okay. Carrier females have about half the usual amount of clotting factor 8 or clotting factor 9, which is generally enough for normal blood clotting. However, about 10% of carrier females have less than half the normal amount of one of these clotting factors. These individuals are at risk for unusual bleeding, particularly after an injury, surgery, or tooth extraction. So, delikado. These are the hemophilia spread among European royal families. Ulitin ko, ang hemophilia is royal family blood disorder. So, these are the graph, no? Kung paano nag-umpisa sa kanila po nanggagaling, no? So, ipapakita ko lang sa inyo na sa kanila po nag-umpisa. Royal Family Blood Disorder, the hemophilia. Okay? So, now, causes of hemophilia. Ito na yung sinasabi ko. Mother's genes, XX, two X chromosomes. The father genes, XY chromosomes. Okay. So, sa hemophilia, has six-linked recessive inheritance. Ito yung sinabi six-linked, X and Y. Okay? In most cases, hemophilia caused by mutation in a gene that encodes for one of the clotting factors. Since the hemophilia gene is located on the X chromosome, si father, X chromosome, kasi XY si father, hemophilia usually occurs in males and female is the carrier of hemophilia. Okay? O, kapag ang father, X chromosomes ang natamaan, lahat ng anak niyang babae, yun ang magkakaroon ng hemophilia. Okay? So, The red X is the chromosomes carrying hemophilia. So yung dalawang anak na babae ang matatamaan ng hemophilia kung ang father ang may tama. Sex link nga, recessive inheritance. So ito yung okay. So ito yung father. Causes of hemophilia, ito yung picture para maintindihan natin. Father without hemophilia and carrier is the mother. Okay? Tingnan nyo. Si father walang hemophilia, si mother lang. Ang matatamaan sa anak ay ang daughter, yung lalaki at yung babae. The daughter carrier of hemophilia gene, son with hemophilia. Okay? So kapag ang nanay ang may hemophilia, sex link nga po. Kapag ang nanay, both daughter and son ang matatamaan. Kapag ang tatay, lahat ng anak na babae ang matatamaan. Okay? So, madaling tandaan. Okay, madali po bang tandaan? Pag ang nanay, ang carrier, anak na babae at lalaki, matatamaan. And then, ang magiging carrier ng hemophilia gene niya is the daughter. Okay? At yung pinakamatinding disorder ay yung kanyang son. May disorder ang anak na babae, pero nagiging carrier. Pass on. From mother, pass on to the daughter. Pero ang pinakamay matinding natatamaan na anak is the lalaki. Magkakaroon siya ng disorder. Alright? So, ganyan po ang causes of hemophilia. Disorder, hereditary blood disorder. So, kung titingnan nyo si father, kung si father ang may tama, lahat ng babaeng anak magiging carrier. So, yung mga carrier na to, pag nanganak din sila, since babae sila, babaeng anak nila magiging carrier at kung may lalaki siyang anak, okay, kung may lalaki siyang anak, ito to, hindi matatamaan kapag ang tatay ang nag-umpisa. Okay? Puro lang mga babae. Okay, madaya, no? Kapag ang tatay, puro babae. Tapos magiging carrier sila. Samantalang ang nanay, ang anak lang na babae ang carrier, pero ang pinakamatatamaan is the son, yung anak na lalaki. So what are the symptoms of hemophilia? All right. Bleeding into the joints, causing swelling and pain. Okay? Yung mga joints na akala natin na, ay baka ano lang to. That is one of the symptoms of hemophilia. Yung mga joints natin nagsuswell, tapos may bleeding, and then may pain. Easy bruising and bleeding. Kunting sugat lang, kunti lang, matindi na po yung pagdudurugo. Those are the symptoms. Bleeding of the mouth and gums that is hard to stop. Okay? Blood in the urine or stool. So ito siya matitingnan ng symptoms. Frequent and hard to stop nosebleeds. So dapat tingnan natin to dahil ito yung pinaka-signs and symptoms of a person with bleeding disorders, with hemophilia. Okay? So signs and symptoms of hemophilia, ito, perpetuated oozing after injuries. Okay? Repeated bleeding after first bleeding. Pag sinabing hemophilia, since deficiency sila ng clotting factor, pag nasugat nga po, hindi po umaampat. Tuloy-tuloy po yung pagdurugo. Hindi po tumitigil. So, delikado po yun because the patient is prone to hemorrhage o yung hemorrhage, no? Easy or spontaneous bruising. Madali, konting ano lang, mabilis magdudugo agad. Prolonged bleeding. So, delikado po kapag hindi nag-i-stop yung pagbi-bleed. Prone to uh, hemorrhagic, hemorrhagic shock. Okay? So, the most frequent symptoms of hemophilia types A and B is spontaneous joint bleeding. Okay? Yung mga joints, titingnan natin yung mga joints. Bakit dugo ng dugo yung mga joints ko? Dito sa may groin. Okay? Lahat ng may mga joints, dumudugo. Kung makikita natin may mga pantal, isa po yan sa titingnan natin na signs and symptoms. Then, complications, hemorrhages in the iliopsoas muscles. Ito yun. mga ellipsoas. Yan, hemorrhage. Din joints, merong hemorrhage na nasa ilalim, okay? Internal hemorrhage, meron ding external hemorrhage. Kapag nagkaroon ng problem yung joints, akala natin, oy, ang bleeding niya is ano lang, dapat sa labas lang. No, meron po tayong tinatawag na internal hemorrhage and meron ding external hemorrhage. And then yung joints, intracranial bleeding. So, delikado po itong intracranial bleeding sa ating brain, sa cranium. Nagbi-bleed din po yan without, akala, hindi natin nakikita yung mismong blood, but nagkakaroon po ng complications, no? Even the intracranial bleeding. Kasi nga merong hemorrhagic stroke or yun po yung isa sa magiging cause ng intracranial bleeding. Like for example this one, bleeding of the iliopsoas muscles. Dumudugo. Kaya kung makikita natin, bakit merong pasa-pasa, no? Kala natin yung pasa, hindi po yan normal, ha? Soft tissues bleeds and bruising. No functional impairment, okay? Tenderness, but no severe pain, okay? No factor needed. So, yung makikita natin na mga pasa-pasa, no? Hindi po yan. Next, swelling, emergency potential airway compromise, treat with a major dose of factor. Kapag nag-swell na po yung sa neck, mas delikado po yan. Yan na po yung tinatawag na emergency or the deltoid forearm bleed and bruising. Ito dito, yung mga part na yan. Routine factor dose, major factor dose, if compartment syndrome is suspected. Okay? Pag sinabing compartment syndrome, yung dito, yung parang compartment, ah, matindi na po yung tinatawag na hematoma. Okay, yung hematoma, yan yung medical term ng mga pasa, hematoma. That is not normal, no? Ellipsoas bleeds, yung dito, yan yung delikado ha. Flex hip, pain, inability to extend the leg on the affected side, treat with a major dose of factor. Buttocks, ito din, pain. So, lahat yan ay titingnan natin. Ultimo yung calf. No? Pain without swelling, impaired mobility, major factor dose if compartment syndrome is suspected. So, titingnan natin yung mga points na ito. Delikado po yan, ha? Pag may mga ganyan na kailangan, especially sa neck, kailangan na ng emergency because meron po yung bleeding. Okay sana kung makikita natin what if internal. Okay? So there are main types of hemophilia. Okay, meron tayong tinatawag na hemophilia A, B, C, and tinatawag na acquired hemophilia. So ito yung sinasabi kanina na pag hemophilia A, factor 8 ang deficiency, more common in men, and the factor 9, hemophilia B, factor 11, ito yung hemophilia C, factor 8 in most cases, no? Ito yung acquired hemophilia. Yung tinatawag na parahemophilia. Okay? Affects men and women equally, more common in older individuals, 1.5 in every million Filipino, people. Okay? So, types of hemophilia, ganito na lang para at least mas madaling tandaan. Okay? Para hemophilia, yung pang-apat na types. Okay? Autosomal. Okay? Autosomal recessive, X-linked, X-linked. Itong autosomal, this is autoimmune. Okay? Yung immune system, may problema na. Okay. So, hemophilia A, also known as classic hemophilia or factor 8 deficiency, people with this type of hemophilia have low levels of blood clotting factor called 8. It's the most common. Okay. Mild hemophilia A do not have spontaneous bleeding, but unusual bleeding occurs with surgery and tooth extractions. People are usually diagnosed with this in the later life. So, kailangan importante pong malaman natin yung blood disorders, especially hemophilia, especially kailangan po yan during surgery o preoperative, no? And during tooth extractions. Kaya tinatanong yan ng mga dentist, no? kung meron bang blood disorder. Kasi kung merong blood disorder, most of the dentists, hindi po sila nag-i-extract ng tooth. Baka magkaroon po ng hemorrhage, no? So, mild hemophilia. Sa moderate hemophilia, spontaneous bleeding, delayed oozing after minor injury, and usually diagnosed before they are 5 to 6 years old. Ang severe hemophilia, A, spontaneous joint or deep muscle bleeding, usually diagnosed within first 2 years of life. So these are the types of hemophilia A. So again, ang hemophilia A is most common in men. So sa mga lalaki. Person with hemophilia A, factor 8 genes deficiency, no? Carried in AAV vector. This one is sa genetic na po ito. Immunosuppressive drugs, yung pong pinapainom dito, no? Immunosuppressive drugs. Ibig sabihin, yung immune system sinusuppress dahil especially the type C and type I, yung paraphilia. Okay, those are autoimmune. So, hemophilia A, ito po yun. Kapag nasugat, injury to blood vessel results in bleeding. Kapag nasugat, vessels constricts and clotting factors are activated. Okay? Sa normal, along with other substances, clotting factor 8 causes a strong platelet plug to form. Ito yung sinasabi ko kanina, yung platelet from the plasma, no? Yung platelet alone, sila po ay magpa-plug, magfo-form para ipa-plug nila yung buong sugat. And then, fibrinogen, yan, a stable fibrin clot forms over the platelet plug as a final seal on the injury and the bleeding stops. So, ito yung trabaho ng dugo natin, especially the plasma, the platelet. No, ito yung trabaho nila to seal the injury, to stop the bleeding. So, these are the normal functions kapag nasugat. Kaya sabi ko sa inyo, kahit hindi nyo yan tapalan o idiin-diin o lagyan ng kung anong goose pads, automatic mag stop yan because of the normal functions of the platelet and the plasma, no? To form fibrin, the fibrin clots, para i-seal yung injury to stop the bleeding. Pero kapag may hemophilia lack of clotting factor 8 causes a weak platelet plug to form. Okay? So yung platelet, hindi sila magpa-plug, no? Hindi sila mag-stimulate. No, that's why walang fibrin clot forms, walang fibrin. Incomplete and or delayed fibrin clot allows bleeding to continue. So walang magsisil nung injury. That's why tuloy-tuloy po yung pagdudugo. Kaya delikado po ang ganitong disorder ng blood dahil po pwede pong mamatay ang isang tao due to hemorrhage. Okay? So hemophilia B, also known as Christmas disease. Okay? Royal family disease. Kitanda natin ang hemophilia is a royal family disease. Pero ang hemophilia B is a Christmas disease. Why? Because of a deficiency of factor 9, clotting factor 9. People with this type of hemophilia have low levels of blood clotting factor called figure 9. Ditawag na fix. Okay. The two different types of hemophilia are caused by permanent gene changes mutation. Mutation in the clotting factor 8 gene cause hemophilia A and 9 cause hemophilia B. Okay. Hemophilia C naman tayo. You don't have the clotting factor or blood protein 11, sometimes called factor 11, because you didn't inherit the factor 11 genes. So, may absent na clotting factor. Hindi natin na-inherit from our parents. That's why, ito yung nag-result ng hemophilia C. Clotting factor 11. Ano nga yung clotting factor 11? Ito siya. Pag sinabing clotting factor, plasma thromboplastin antecedent. Yan yung plasma thromboplastin antecedent. Trabaho ng plasma ito to seal the injury. But wala po tayong nakuha from our parents and that one result to ng hemophilia C. Okay? Nagre-result yan ng hemophilia C. Okay. Okay. So, symptoms, hereditary. Okay? Symptoms, hereditary din ito. Hindi mo nakuha, hindi mo na-inherit yung F11. So, ang parents mo, ganun din. So, ang tawag na nito is unknown o unknown cause. Symptoms, easy bruising, madaling masugatan, bleeding into muscles and joints, halos pare-pareho. Severe prolonged bleeding, bleeding that starts with no cause. Ito po yung maraming hematoma na pasyente. Yung bleeding that starts with no cause, hindi natin alam, hindi naman siya nasugat. Ang pinakapalatandaan nito is maraming pasa, no? Pasa, pasa, pasa na malalaki. So akala natin na na-bump lang tayo. No. This is a disorder, bleeding that starts with no cause. 1 in 100,000 male births. Sa lalaki pa rin ito. More on lalaki. Very few ang kababaihan. So very rare po itong hemophilia C. So tandaan natin ang Christmas disease ay hemophilia B. So factor 5 deficiency. Ito yung parahemophilia, parang hemophilia. Mild to moderate bleeding disorder. Mild to moderate. Autosomal, ibig sabihin autoimmune. Mucocutaneous bleeding and hematomas. Ito, hematoma, ibig sabihin pasa. Rare hemarthrosis. Menorrhagia may occur. Pag sinabing menorrhagia, nag-stop yung pagbi-bleed. Okay? Both prothrombin and APTT prolonged combined deficiency with factor 8 due to abnormal chaperone protein from ER to Golgi apparatus, no? Ito po ay parahemophilia. Factor 5 ang wala. So ano po ba yung factor 5? Malalim kasi to dahil puro ito dugo. Ang factor 5 is proacyllerin, labile factor. So mga mahihirap po itong sakit na ito. No, very rare. Kasi nga royal families, ano po ito, blood disorders. Alright. So those are the different kinds of hemophilia. No, hemophilia A, hemophilia B, hemophilia C, and parahemophilia. Alright. Ang tanda natin, si A, clotting factor 8 deficiency. Si B, clotting factor 9, the Christmas disease. Okay? Ang hemophilia C, clotting, wala siyang F11, clotting factor 11. Ang parahemophilia, wala siyang clotting factor 5. So, yan yung mga different types, no? And one thing in common, prone to bleeding. Okay? So, how is hemophilia diagnosed? Okay, hemophilia A and B, diagnosed by measuring factor clotting activity. So, paano ba natin malalaman kung merong uh, hemophilia ang isang tao? Okay, importante to dahil lalong-lalo na, number one, of course, kung ang isang pasyente ay hindi natin alam na meron pala siyang hemophilia disorder, pwede siyang mamatay. Especially pag magpabunot ng ngipin. Okay, especially kapag mag-undergo ng surgery. Okay, ano pa ba? And then, for example, importanteng malaman ang hemophilia through the PTT o yung tinatawag na PT, partial thromboplastin time. Yan yung tinatawag PTT. Pag sinabi ng doktor, mula ngayon, pag narinig nyo ito, kailangan namin i-test yung PTT nyo. Ano ba yung PTT? That is prothrombin plastin time. Prothrombin plastin time. Ibig sabihin, kailangan malaman natin kung meron kang, kung magka-clog ba, kung magkaroon ba ng clotting. Paano malaman sa PTT? Ang PTT, normal PTT result is only 25 to 35 seconds lang. Okay, pagkuha ng blood, extract ng blood, i-test through PTT, prothrombin time, okay, prothromboplastin time, 25 to 35 seconds, makikita na yung clotting na nagka-clot, namumuo na yung dugo. Meron na pong platelet, nagpo-form na yung platelet at saka yung fibrin clots ay nai-stimulate na. So, using the PTT diagnosis. Okay? Paano ma-diagnose? Using the PTT. Within 25 to 35 seconds, makikita na kung nag-clot ba yung dugo. Merong clotting ba yung dugo. Now, bakit importante? Kapag ang pasyente, alamin natin yung PTT. Why? Kung mag-undergo ng tooth extraction, huwag tayong basta-bastang magpa-undergo. Baka mamaya may hemophilia disorder ang isang pasyente. Yun yung delikado sa mga dentist, no? Kasi kapag nabunutan nila yan without knowing the PTT or the partial thromboplastin time, pwedeng mamatay ang pasyente. Why? May hemorrhage. Okay, number two, during preoperative surgery. Baka mamaya surgery ka ng surgery. Nang dahil lang sa blood disorder, hemophilia, mamamatay pa rin yung pasyente. Okay. Number three, kapag ang pasyente ay iinom ng blood thinners, yung mga pasyente na umiinom ng blood thinners, yung mga may problem sa heart, di ba? Kailangan nila ng anticoagulant drugs. So, hindi basta-bastang iinom ka ng anticoagulant drugs without knowing your blood disorder. What if may hemophilia ka? No? What if may hemophilia ka? Inom ka ng anticoagulant. Okay. Blood thinners na dugo. E di lalo kang posibleng magkaroon ng internal hemorrhage due to excessive bleeding from the internal parts of the body. So, delikado. So, number four, ano po ba ang ibang dahilan kung bakit alamin natin yung prothrombin, partial thromboplastin time, yung coagulation? Of course, by yung sa liver natin, no? Yung liver kasi is very important. Doon natin malalaman kung ang liver ay okay because liver has a major parts, no? Sa pagdating sa clotting factor ng dugo. Okay, remember, si liver, siya ang major detoxification. Sino ba ang i-detox? The blood. So, importante yung malaman natin yung ating partial thromboplastin time by knowing the condition of the liver, kung kaya pa bang mag-clot yung ating blood para maiwasan po ah, yung tinatawag na hemorrhage, no? Delikado po ito dahil hindi po tumitigil yung pagdudugo once na nasugatan ng isang pasyente. So, tandaan niyo po ha, ang PTT or partial thromboplastin type, ito, PTT or clotting type, kailangan 25 to 35 seconds lang po yan. 25 to 35 seconds, and then more than that, ibig sabihin, doon makikita, nagpuprulong, walang clotting, walang fibrin na nabubuo, fibrin clots, walang namumuo. Ibig sabihin, you have blood disorder. Maybe you are belong to hemophilia types of blood disorder, no? So, individuals who have hemophilia A have low factor 8 clotting activity. Alright, genetic testing is also available for the factor 8 and the factor 9 gene. Genetic testing finds a disease-causing mutation in up to 98% of individuals who have hemophilia A. Genetic testing of factor 9 genes finds disease-causing mutation in more than 99% of individuals who have hemophilia B. So genetic testing is usually used to identify women who are carriers of type factor 8 and factor 9 gene mutation and to diagnose hemophilia in a fetus during pregnancy. It is sometimes used to diagnose individuals who have mild symptoms of hemophilia A and B. So, ito yung mga kailangan natin makuha. Itong platelet count, kailangan normal, bleeding time normal, prothrombin time normal, clotting or PTT, kapag prolong, okay, factor 8 and factor 9 decrease. So normal values for us is 50 to 150%. So these are mild, moderate, and severe. So kapag ganito, kapag ganito ang result, a deficiency of clotting factor 8. This kapag greater than 5% yung PTT, it means mild. If moderate, 1 to 5%, okay, moderate. Kapag severe, less than 1%. So, sobrang decrease yung factor 8. So, ibig sabihin, you are on a severe condition of hemophilia disorder. So, what are the treatments? So, treatments na tayo. Management, of course. Number one treatment is management. Prevention of bleeding episodes. Natural, ingatan natin na hindi masugatan ng isang pasyente. Why? Alam na natin, hindi titigil ang dugo. Why? Absent ng clotting factor 8 or clotting factor 9. Replacement therapy, pwede din. Okay, anong nire-replace? Plasma. Okay. So, yan yung kailangan i-replace kasi naandun yung protein. So, gene therapy, desmopressin, mga gamot po yan, another therapy. So, these are all the management strategies for hemophilia. Number one, prevention. Okay, anong i-prevent natin? Local measures, apply direct pressure, elevate or ice compress. Okay, kapag may sugat, no? Kapag may sugat ang isang pasyente na may hemophilia, apply direct pressure. Okay. Kanina sinabi ko kapag nasugat ka pero normal lang iyong PTT or yung ating clotting factor, kahit hindi mo na yan lagyan ng ice compress or hindi mo na kailangang i-elevate, automatically mag-stop yung bleeding. But the episodes of bleeding sa hemophilia, kailangan direct pressure. Ididiin mo siya and then i-elevate mo yung isang part na nasugatan. Why? Para sa gravity. No, bababa. Hindi po tuloy-tuloy. Kung ibaba mo yung kamay or yung part na may injury, lalo pong magdudurugo dahil sa gravity. Elevate or ice compress. Lagyan ng ice compress. Epistaxis, sit up, lean forward. Yung pag-nosebleed, ang tawag dyan ay epistaxis. Yan po yung medical term ng nosebleed. Epistaxis, lean forward. Okay? Set up and lean forward. Ili-lean forward yung ulo. Hindi yung pag nagdudugo, pinapataas yung ulo. Mali po yun. During epistaxis, kailangan lean forward. Okay, lean forward. Ibababa. Yan po yung gagawin kapag may na-encounter po kayong may mga ganitong disorders. This is very important. Why? Every time, no? Like for example, ako, madalas po akong naka-encounter ng may mga nagkukulaps, yung may mga inaatake, no? So, sa lahat ng natutunan ko, especially the first aid o yung pinakaunang lunas, no, tinatawag. Huwag nating kalimutan 'yon. During emergency, we can save lives, no? Number one pong pinaka-common purpose of first aid is we can save lives, no? Hindi natin hayaan na mamatay yung isang tao o titingnan lang, wala kang gagawin. Alam mo yung dapat gagawin, alam mo kung ano yung mga unang lunas o the first aid, pero hindi mo in-apply, tiningnan mo lang nila, takot ka, malaki pong pananagutan natin, no? Kasi alam mo yung dapat mong gawin and then hindi mo siya in-apply. Instead na masave pa yung buhay ng isang pasyente, hinayaan mo lang. So, nakakakonsensya, no? So, gaya ng sinabi ko, halimbawa ito, may mga hindi natin alam anywhere, may ma-encounter tayong mga tao na may ganito palang disorder. Kapag natutunan nyo ito, huwag nating baliwalain na, ay, dapat narinig ko yun na, parang ganito ang gagawin yan. Especially this bleeding disorders. Napakahirap po nito. Maaari pong mamatay yung isang pasyente. Why? Mauubusan po siya ng dugo. No? Tuloy-tuloy ang pagdurugo niyan. So, number one is to apply direct pressure and then itaas yung isang uh, due to gravity. Di ba yung gravitational force? Kapag may sugat dito, ibinaba mo ito, edi lalo mong susugat. Itataas mo yung part ng katawan na may injury. And then, magagawa po natin, masisave natin yung pasyente sa too much bleeding. And then, kapag hindi naman na talaga natin kaya, call for help. Okay? Meron pa ba tayong 911 dito? Or dalhin na natin sa ospital para mabigyan ng lunas. At least natulungan natin yung isang pasyente. Again, sa may epistaxis, set up lean forward, no? Yung hindi po yung, uy, nagno-nosebleed yung isang pasyente, itataas yung ulo. No, mali po yun. Kailangan lean forward, okay? Straight mo yung body and then lean forward, ibababa yung ulo. Okay, so yan po yung pinaka-management sa mga may epistaxis, especially sa mga may hemophilia. Number two, number one pa rin tayo, prevention. So, sa mga taong may hemophilia na kakilala natin, okay, prevent natin yung immobilized joint during acute bleeding. Kapag may bleeding yung isang pasyente, especially sa joints, huwag kailangan, hindi dapat i-move, no? Kailangan walang movement yung pasyente na merong sugat. Kasi kadalasan, di ba, sa mga joints sila, dapat immobilize. Hindi po gagalaw. Kailangan steady lang. And then, bawal po ang progressive exercise sa kanila kasi easy bruising. Madali po silang magsugat. Okay, avoid prolonged immobility. Hindi rin pwedeng i-prolong yung immobility nila. Okay, so ang hirap ng management, ang hirap po talaga din. Avoid contact sports. Kapag naglalaro yan sila or may mga something na mabilis silang matusok, no? Kailangan ingatan po talaga. Okay, sa mga exercise, kailangan dahan-dahan, no? Immobilize. Tulad dito, sa mga sports na to, dapat hindi po kailangan maprolong, no? Kasi progressive exercise is delikado po sa kanila, lalong-lalo na sa mga joints. Mabilis silang magkaroon ng injury. Now, avoid IM injections. These patient, no, sa mga may hemophilia, delikado po sila sa mga injections, no? Kasi kapag natusok yan, okay, so, hindi na po titigil yung pagdudurugo. No, tuloy-tuloy ang pagdudugo. So, importante na malaman natin yung clotting factor, yung tinatawag na PTT, partial thromboplastin time, para hindi po mamatay yung isang pasyente. Dahil nakakamatay po ito kapag too much bleeding can lead to hemorrhagic shock. Okay? And also, those hemophilia patients are not allowed to take NSAIDs. No? Yung mga non-steroidal inflammatory disease. No, yan yung mga bawal sa kanila na mga gamot because of uh, meron nga silang deficiency ng clotting factor. So these are not allowed sa mga patients na may mga hemophilia disorder. So number two, ano po ang management na gagawin? Replacement therapy. Press whole blood. Kaya yung iba, bawal nga sila matusok. Kaya lang, kailangan nila ng ma-replace ng whole blood. Dahil dun sa whole blood, nandun po mag-i-stimulate nandun yung plasma. Okay? Yan, whole blood, whole plasma, press frozen plasma, yan po yung kailangan i-replace sa kanila. Cryoprecipitate, factor 8 or 9, concentrate, recombinant factor. So these are all the replacement therapy. Usual na ginagawa sa mga pasyente. Dahil, gaya ng sinabi ko, delikado po kasi itong mga pasyente na ito sa hemorrhage, no? So delikado po yung kanilang very rare kasi. So without replacement therapy, so ito yun. Hayaan lang po ba natin yung isang pasyente na magkaroon ng bahalang maligo siya sa dugo niya hanggang sa mawalan siya ng malay. Kasi ang dugo ang may bitbit nga ng oxygen. Okay, si dugo ang may bitbit ng iron. So, kailangan po natin ma-replace yung whole blood, yung plasma, okay? Without replacement therapy, okay? With replacement therapy, yung tinatawag na factor 8, okay, especially very common ang hemophilia A, ang factor 8, meron po yan na pwedeng i-replace sa kanila through IV therapy. Through IV. So, doon siya i- ibibigay sa pasyente. Number 3, gene therapy. Masyadong mahirap po ito, gene therapy. Gene therapy, yung type A and type B. So, Mahal po itong procedure na ito, ha? Gene therapy. So, gaya na sinabi ko kanina, this is a royal blood disorder. So, mahirap po itong gene therapy na to because of the chromosomes, no? So, factor 8, 6 times longer. So, yan po yung kinukuha po yan sa cell mismo. Ito po yung live cell. Ito yung nucleus. Nandun po sa DNA ang chromosomes. X chromosomes and Y chromosomes. Depende kung ano yung tatamaan. If it is a mother or a father. Merong gene mutations. No? So, ito yung gene therapy. Kinukuha mismo yan sa cell ng isang tao. Then factor 6, DNA must be compressed and optimized before it will fit in the virus. Ito yun. So, i-inject siya. Virus carrying factor 8 gene. Yan. And then, i-inject mo yan dun sa taong may hemophilia A or B. Number 4, desmopressin stimulates the release of stored factor 8 and yung tinatawag na von Willebrand factor. Von Willebrand factor carries and binds factor 8 which they can stay in the bloodstream longer. Actually, hindi ko alam kung available na to dito sa atin sa Philippines. Kasi mahirap po ang desmopressin. Okay, yung desmopressin, talaga management na ito. Yung factor, ano po ito? Yung mismong protein, i-ano natin sa isang pasyente. And other treatments, ito po yung mga other treatments, antifibrinolytic or anti-delay clot lysis. Okay? So these are all the management and treatment. Now, paalala, always don't forget the acronym RISE. Okay? Kapag may hemophilia patient, do not forget the acronym RISE. Kailangan yung rest na isang pasyente dahil hindi nga siya pwedeng prolong na mobile. Hindi siya pwede because prone po sila sa bruise. Prone sila sa bleeding. Number 2, ice packs for 15 to 20 minutes several times a day. I-compress with an elastic wrap to help control swelling kasi madalas po sila mag-swell, especially sa joints. And then elevate the ankle above the heart to minimize the swelling. Because these types of patients, they are prone to swelling, especially sa mga joints nila. Okay? So always do not forget the acronym RISE. Rest, ice pack, compress, and then elevate. So yan po ang kailangan. So, alright? Teka lang, teka lang. Meron po akong ginawa dito. Now, ang tanong natin, papaano ba, papaano ba ang red pine? Yun po ang tanong ni Ma'am Ella. Ito kasi, during during the clotting factor stimulations, no? During damage, no? Pag may damage, may injury, may cut. Meron po tayong tinatawag na intrinsic pathway and the extrinsic pathway. Pag sinabing intrinsic pathway to stimulate, extrinsic pathway, iyan po yung to reverse. Okay? Tissue factor, nire-reverse po ng extrinsic pathway. Merong intrinsic pathway to stimulate the bleeding and meron din tinatawag na extrinsic pathway or during trauma na reverse. So how? By activating the prothrombin time and thrombin. So, eto po yung gusto kong malaman na ano ba ibig sabihin yan? So, wag na nating anuhin. Ito yung tinatawag na final common pathway. Pag sinabing final common pathway, dito i-weigh ating plasma ng ating mga proteins, i-weigh, okay, prothrombin time, the thrombin, to form fibrinogen. And then kapag ang fibrinogen, now, ang importante dito, during extrinsic pathway, the calcium must be present. Okay? Anong ibig sabihin na extrinsic pathway? Nire-reverse. Kung ang isa, bleeding, prone to bleeding, yung, yung isa naman, extrinsic pathway, nire-reverse niya. Ito naman yung may clotting. May clotting factor at ito namang isa is walang clotting factor. So, ito yung trabaho ng ating dugo during injury. Alright? So, ito yung final common pathway. The prothrombin, thrombin, ito yung mga proteins wherein alam nila ang gagawin nila. O, ano ba tayo? Tuloy-tuloy ang pagdurugo o i-reverse natin? O magkaklat ba tayo? So, pag sinabing itong dalawang ito ang basihan ng clotting factor. Kapag na-activate ang prothrombin and thrombin, okay, magkakaroon ng stimulation ng fibrinogen. Yung fibrinogen can lead to fibrin. Ang fibrin ang magsisealed ng ating injury. So that is, yan yung makikita natin yung fibrin, yung parang yellowish color after may suga, pagdurugo. Diba? Pag nagdugo ng dumugo, after nyan, hinayaan mo na. Ayan, parang may water na lumabas na kulay yellowish, and that is the fibrin. Nag-sealed na po yung injury. And then, meron po yan mga antibacterials because it is from the platelet, the plasma, no? From the plasma. So, para hindi siya anuhin ng mga bakterya. Now, dito, sa intrinsic at saka extrinsic, ito yung tanong natin. Paano yan? Pag uminom tayo ng Redpan, okay, dito tayo. Okay, Pinus densiflora. Ano po ba ang nagagawa ng Pinus densiflora pagdating sa hemophilia? Okay. O, di ba ang hemophilia, walang clotting factor. So, ibig sabihin, prone to bleeding. So, anong gagawin ng ating red pine pagdating dito sa problema na ito? Also known as red pine, contains compounds like procyanidates that can inhibit blood clot formation. So, ibig sabihin, inhibit the blood clot formation. So, ilalong magdudugo, no? Blood clot formation and potentially impact coagulation factors. See? Inhibit blood clot formation and potentially impact coagulation factors. These compounds, through procyanidates, doon gumagana ang intrinsic pathway and extrinsic pathway. Ano ba talaga? Ito yung trabaho ng red pine. Ibibleed ba natin o kailangan natin i-coagulate? That is the work of Pinus densiflora component procyanidates. These compounds can interfere with the coagulation cascades, particularly by hindering the formation of fibrin, a key component of blood clots. Okay? Si fibrin, siya ang pinaka-key component. Siya yung nagsisealed ng injury para mag-stop yung blood clots. Okay? Yung pag-stop ng component of blood clots. So, ibig sabihin, si procyanidates pala, napakaganda pagdating sa mga blood clots. Like for example, may hematoma. Okay. 'Di ba ang hemophilia, especially para hemophilia, they are prone to blood clots. Kaya nga, daming hematoma. Daming hematoma. And the functions of Pinus densiflora through extrinsic pathway, intrinsic. So, inaano niya yung coagulation cascade. Ini-inhibit niya yung coagulation para hindi mananatili yung hematoma. Diba nangingitim na? Ang trabaho ng procyanidates, i-stop yung i-stop yung coagulations of the blood para mawala yung pangingitim. So particularly hindering the formation of fibrin, a key component of blood clots. So ang trabaho ng red pine pagdating sa hemophilia, because they are prone to hematoma, ang trabaho ni procyanidae component of red pine, tinatanggal niya yung mga blood clots sa ilalim. Okay. Inhibition of fibrin formations. Procyanidaes, a type of flavonoid found in Pinus densiflora, which is our red pine, have been shown to degrade blood clots in vitro. Potentially, pag sinabi in vitro, this is kinuha ko po ito from the clinical study. Potentially by interfering with the conversion of fibrinogen to fibrin, a crucial step in clot formation. So here, si procyanidates is activating the extrinsic pathway. Ibig sabihin, extrinsic pathway, nire-reverse niya. Okay. Has been shown to degrade blood clots into vitro. potentially by interfering the conversion of fibrinogen to fibrin. See, the fibrinogen is the bleeding formations. Okay, si fibrin naman ang taga-seal, a crucial step in clot formations. See, yan ang ginagawa ng ating Pinus densiflora. Alam niya na ang isang pasyente ay kailangan ng mag-replenish ng blood dahil sobrang dami ng na-loss. Then, the fibrin is activated by sinisil niya yung injury. The fibrin is activated and this is the most crucial step in clot formations. So, kapag gumana na-activate ang fibrin because of extrinsic pathway through in-stop ang fibrinogen to form. So, ito yung tinatawag na intrinsic pathway and the extrinsic pathway. This is the final common pathway. Ito yung sinasabi ko. Ang trabaho ng red pine, ito from the, alam niya, no? Alam ng ating blood, no? Especially the plasma. Okay. Uh, ang daming na-loss na red blood cells. So, yung prothrombin, procyanidins component, si prothrombin, i-stop yung kanyang bleeding by activating the fibrin. Okay. The prothrombin, ang thrombin, magkakaroon yan ng slow, yung tinatawag na clotting factor. These are all the clotting factor. Through procyanidins, yung clotting factor mag-activate. Remember, the PTT or the partial thromboplastin time, within 25 to 35 seconds, makikita natin, when you take red pine, especially sa mga hemophilia patients, after how many minutes, no, makikita natin na mag-i-improve yung PTT, the partial thromboplastin time, within 25 to 35 seconds, mag-decrease, no? Magdi-decrease yung bleeding. So, nag-activate po yung ating tinatawag na thromboplastin time. And then by si fibrinogen, i-slower niya to promote the clotting factor which is very crucial, the fibrin. Si fibrin yung magsisil. So this is what we call the cross-link fibrin clot. So ito yung trabaho ng ating component. And this is taken from the scientific study. Now, inhibition of ito na, effect of coagulation pathways. Yung final pathways, yung pinakita ko. Some studies suggest that Pinus densiflora extracts can inhibit both the intrinsic and extrinsic coagulation pathways. See? Nire-reverse niya. Okay, nire-reverse niya. Oops, tika lang. Prone na ng bleeding, ang dami nang nawala. And here comes the procyanidins of our product. Nire-reverse na, ini-inhibit niya yung intrinsic and extrinsic coagulations. Oops, kailangan ng, hindi pwedeng lumapot ang dugo. Di ba may ganon? Especially pag may heart problem. Okay. Yung mga may heart problem, hindi pwedeng lalapot ang dugo. Why? Lalong hindi makakahinga ang pasyente. So, ang hirap ng trabaho ng procyanidins ng ating Pinus densiflora. Wini-weigh niya kung ano yung problema ng isang pasyente. Ang taong may problema sa heart, kailangan hindi lumapot ang dugo. Ang magtrabaho dyan, yung ating red pine, the procyanidins, ini-inhibit niya yung intrinsic or extrinsic coagulation pathways. Alam nila ang gagawin nila, i-activate or i-inhibit. So, yun yung trabaho ng ating procyanidins ng ating Pinus densiflora, which are the two main pathway involved in clot formation. So, this is taken from the scientific study. Hindi ko po gawa ito. Fibrinolytic activity. Diba? Tandaan natin. Kailangan lumapot ang dugo para hindi tuloy-tuloy ang pagdudugo, pagbibleeding. Bahala na po ang ating procyanidin component doon magtrabaho. No? Sa final pathway nila o sa formations ng clotting. Now, kapag alam naman ng ating dugo, alam natin dugo, di ba sabi ko sa inyo matalino sila. They know their purpose. Okay. Now, alam ng ating dugo na itong pasyente na ito, ay may problema sa heart, hindi pwedeng lumapot ang dugo. Then i-reverse natin. See, the Pinus densiflora extract can inhibit both the intrinsic and extrinsic coagulation pathways. May nagtanong sa akin ito. This is the time na masasagot kita. Last time, di kita masagot dahil kailangan kong nasa tamang topic tayo. Paano yun? Yung iba na prone to bleeding. At paano yun yung iba hindi kailangan lumapot ang dugo? So paano yun? So this is the answer. Si procyanidin component of our red pine is the responsible in inhibit or stimulating the extrinsic and the intrinsic and the extrinsic coagulation pathways. They know their purpose. Alam nila anong gagawin nila. Fibrinolytic activity. Some studies on pine needle extracts have shown fibrinolytic activity, meaning they can help break down fibrin, a key protein involved in clot formations. Sa tanong ni Ma'am Ella, how red pine can help with hemophilia? Okay. Ang ganda naman ng ano. Okay. Ah, ito yung the blood vessel is damaged. Okay, kung ano yung ginagawa ng ating red pine. Ito yung diagram. Pinus densiflora extract, particularly self-fermented extracts, may influence blood clotting through fibrinolysis and potentially by modulating the coagulations cascade. Fibrinolysis is the process of breaking down fibrin clots, and research suggests that pine needle extract can enhance this process. Additionally, some studies indicate that certain compounds in Pinus densiflora can, ano na, okay? So, ito yun. Oops. Okay, so kung makikita nyo, a blood vessel is damaged, the injury, then damaged blood vessels release the tissue factor, okay? And then, kasi yung tissue factor, andun yung ano natin, blood vessels. If calcium ions are present, thromboplastin initiates the conversion of prothrombin to thrombin. Di ba sabi ko kanina, kailangan ng calcium present, no? Kapag the calcium is present, then nag-initiate yung, na-stimulate yung prothrombin and thrombin time. Yan yung clotting factor time. So, kapag na-initiate na niya, thrombin and active enzymes catalyze the conversion of fibrinogen into fibrin. So fibrin forms a net to trap a red blood cells, and then the blood cells and fibrin aggregate to form a clot. So therefore, I conclude that Pinus densiflora can really help hemophilia disorder patient. Ito yung pinaka-diagram. So, nag-enhance po siya, nag-stimulate siya ng fibrin or by activating, by initiating the prothrombin and thrombin time. So, di ba ang ating hemophilia, wala po silang clotting factor, kaya nga tuloy-tuloy ang pagdurugo. Here comes the Pinus densiflora extract. It can really help the hemophilia patients. And that is a good news, no? Napaka-good news po dahil ang hirap po gamutin tong mga pasyente na ito. Dahil may mga clotting factors na nawawala sa kanila, especially 8 and 9. Okay? So, sir, next. Next slide po. So, potential antithrombotic effects. Okay, ito ay taken from Pinus densiflora. Ito naman ay preventing cardiovascular events. Ito naman, kung kanina magkaklat, ito naman, potential antithrombotic effects. Hindi na naman pwedeng mag-clot. Okay, grabe ang trabaho ng ating dugo, no? Matindi po ang trabaho ng ating platelet, ating plasma, at ng ating red blood cells. They know kung kailan sila magtatrabaho, kailan mag-initiate, kailan mag-stop, kasi tinitingnan nila yung kondisyon ng isang pasyente. Dito naman, potential antithrombotic effects, dito hindi pwedeng lumapot ang dugo, hindi pwedeng mag-clot. Why? Because of cardiovascular events or cardiovascular issues of a patient. The findings suggest that Pinus densiflora extract may have antithrombotic effect. Ito naman, antithrombotic. Kanina naman ay mag-i-initiate ng clot. Ito naman, blood clot. Kailangan ma-prevent yung blood clot formations para naman ito sa mga may problema sa puso. This could be a valuable property for preventing cardiovascular events. So, trabaho na po ito ng blood natin. While the research on Pinus densiflora and its effects on blood clotting is promising. Ito ay blood thinner naman siya. Trabaho niya dito ni Pinus densiflora is blood thinner. The intrinsic and the extrinsic factor na inhibit, na stimulate. Okay? While the research, ayan, promising, it is important to remember that these studies are often conducted in vitro and in a lab with animal models. Further research is needed to determine the exact mechanism of action and the potential implications for human health, especially sa mga may cardiovascular issue. So kung si red pine ay nag-i-stop na, nag-form ng clot to stop the bleeding, si red pine, component procyanidins, siya din po ay may kakayanan to stop the clotting para po sa may mga cardiovascular issues na patients. So, napaka-amazing. Our body is so amazing and it is very uh, nakaka-amaze po talaga yung likha ng ating Ama na nasa langit. Kung paano niya pinapagana yung ating dugo para i-survive tayo, para maiwasan yung ating pwedeng, pwedeng ma-hemorrhage and pwede rin magkaroon ng atake dahil sa too much nagka-clot ng lumapot ang dugo. So, nang dahil dyan, I hope may i-share po ako sa inyo about hemophilia. Madali ang presentations lang po ito, no? At maraming salamat. I hope may na-impart po kami sa inyo tonight. And do not forget that red pine has a major role and functions pagdating sa ating blood. Lahat ng blood disorders ay magagawa po ang ating red pine because yan po ang kanyang pinaka-special, no, functions para sa dugo. Maraming salamat at I hope may natutunan po tayo tonight. God bless everyone!